things on zinc oxide and the ban of zinc oxide in Europe and the consequences for the swine sector. And well, I think all of you know that we have a lot of problems in practice. So piglet losses are still high. We have issues with underdeveloped piglets, with diarrhea, and still there's a high need for antimicrobial treatment, what we would like to avoid as much as possible in the future. And last but not least, we have this debate on antimicrobial resistance, which is one of the major threats for the idea of One Health, so bringing together humans and animals and somehow trying to avoid transmission of risk factors. So in this context, it's quite interesting to see what has happened with zinc, which is a trace mineral, as all of you know. So it is something which is essential, it is biological, it is needed for many processes in the body of humans and of animals. And I would like to highlight a bit the impact on animal health, then focus on gut function, the intestinal microbiota, and finally antimicrobial resistance. So these things belong together, and we could also talk about environmental impact of using pharmacological levels of zinc oxide in pig feed, but I think that is not our main topic today. So as I said, zinc is an essential trace mineral, and when you go through the scientific recommendations, you will see that the recommended levels in a diet are something between 50 to 80 milligram per kg of feed. Personally, I would say 50 is a bit low for our conditions, so we have seen that growth performance was already a bit different to piglets getting 80 milligram zinc in 1 kilo of feed. The EU limit as feed additive is 150. So that means even when we go to the limits of the legislation, 150 milligram per kg or ppm, as you like, we are still absolutely on the safe side. And it's quite interesting that zinc is a very abundant trace mineral. So after iron, it has a very important function. It is included in more than 300 physiological processes, which include structural processes, catalytic processes, regulatory things, and also it has a very important activating function for many enzymes. So you will find a lot of ideas in textbooks indicating that important enzymes like alkaline phosphatase are strictly dependent on sufficient zinc supply. So we could also use the activity of alkaline phosphatase as marker of zinc supply. And we also know that there are many other functions for the transcription of the genetic information. So we have zinc finger proteins, which have been discovered and which indicate that zinc has far more roles than we thought before. And in general, we think, and this is like a dogma, that the uptake and the release, the excretion of zinc is somehow regulated. We are talking about a homeostatic regulation. But I will show you that this is true within certain limits, but it's not absolutely true. So pigs can adopt, but for sure not to all levels of intake. Yeah, and when we talk about zinc oxide now a bit more closely, we know it is used as a feed additive. So it's a physiological feed additive, nutritional feed additive, which supports the pigs by delivering zinc as it is needed for growth or for metabolism. But it can also be a veterinary medicinal product, a VMP. So in brief, we have different. So EFSA is more or less looking for the feed side. The EMA is looking for the medicinal side. And as I said, in the feed, we have a maximum of 150 ppm, but here at the medical side, we may find dosages up to 2,500 ppm or even higher. So very important, in the future, there will be no ban of zinc oxide as feed additive. So this will be for sure further possible. But from 2022, there will be a ban on these VMPs, so that means we have to look for alternatives. So zinc oxide as such has two phases. So we can maybe summarize it.